12 minutes after 8 o'clock, Claudia Wagner joins us in studio. Good morning, Claudia.
Good morning.
Get closer to that microphone, Claudia, if you could. I've known Claudia for over 20 years, but we haven't seen each other in probably 20 years. And I got to tell you, you're better looking now than you were 20 years ago.
Thank you.
And that's saying something.
Oops. Heard that word twice today.
And that aside, Claudia's here to promote the Bryan Liew Run, which is coming up on September 27th.
Correct.
Claudia?
Sunday, September 27th.
And it's a real bittersweet event for you, I guess, as a former friend of Bryan Liew, who passed away unexpectedly a couple of years ago. Tell us first of all about Bryan.
Bryan was he was our coach. He was the coach from the Hudson St-Lazare Runners Club. He would coach anyone from beginner to, when I came along, I was one of the competitive runners, and he took me under his wing. And I've had lots of coaches in my life. I had German coaches, Canadian coaches. This guy really whipped me back into, I was sore after I did trainings with him. And I've been training for so many years. This guy really knew what he was doing and had focus for everyone, for any novice to anyone who really wanted to do competitions. He had a great heart, a great soul. He always wanted to contribute, to help, and he promoted his running all the time because he loved it. That was his love.
When he passed away, tell me about your reaction, the community reaction, and the reaction of the folks in that tight running circle.
Well, I can tell you in a little short story. Thursday night, we always trained together, and Thursday night we all went running. We did a hard run. He went home, as I was told by Elizabeth Harder, his wife, and had his Subway and sat down, watched TV, and usually falls asleep after a hard training. He fell asleep, and then that morning, we always text each other, and I texted him, "Bryan?" No answer. He usually writes back in seconds. He'll text me back. And I ask again, "Bryan?" with a question mark. Minutes later, I get a call from Elizabeth saying he passed away. It was like throwing me against the wall. I had no words for it. I couldn't believe what I heard just at that moment. And I passed on the news then to the fellow runners, who then passed it on to the other runners. And we were all in shock, all in awe. It was an unbelievable time.
At what point did you decide we've got to do something to honor his memory, and how did that evolve into the event that's coming up on the 27th?
Shortly after, everyone was throwing ideas what should be done, and some people were giving, going back and forth. And one of my friends, Carolyn LaRose, said, started off with the idea, why don't we rename the track where we always ran, and Bryan loves running on that track. Why don't we rename it? So I thought, that is a brilliant idea. So I went to Robert Grimaudo, our mayor here in St-Lazare, went to one of the town meetings with some of my other runners, and we went up there and we proposed the subject. And of course, we had to go back and forth. Finally, it was yes, and last year it was inaugurated, and that's how we held our first race. We thought, why don't we create the Bryan Liew Foundation and collect money and start raising money through a race, because we want to rubberize the track eventually. Because
and where is that track, Claudia, for people that don't know?
Westwood Junior, where the school is, right up there. There's a synthetic soccer field already, but there's a gravel track around it. And it was always Bryan's big dream to have, run on a rubber track, because when we had like official or really hard runs, we'd have to drive all the way to Montreal to run on a rubber track. So that's why we're raising money right now. My co-director, Patrick Lepage, who's been amazing, and he's the biggest help I've ever had in this thing. He's the background of everything. He does all the stuff. Together, him and I are trying our very utmost to get as many people to run the race, because all the proceeds go to the Bryan Liew Foundation, and all of it will be presented shortly after. I'm going to the town council meeting to ask for the rubber track again.
How can people get involved? What do you need people to do?
Run.
Okay.
Run September 27th. You just have to Google Bryan Liew, because giving out the link, it's a long link. But if you Google Bryan Liew,
it's Bryan
Liew,
right,
and you put in race, you'll find the link, and you can just register for the September 27th race. We have a 1K, For children that are 12 and under, we have a 5K and a 10K.
All right, we will definitely mention that at least a couple more times between now and the time of the event. Claudia, thank you for coming in this morning.
Ted, thank you for having me.
Thanks for the coffee.
Yes, thank you.
No problem.
It's 8:18.